Hey guys, it's Amberly. So today I wanted to talk about a few sanitation methods. Whenever you have issues with your snakes, such as any sort of infection or scale rot, or even mites, it's really hard to get rid of mites, and you want to make sure all of your snake's hides and plants are sanitary. So what we do is we bake the hides. The really high temperature kills the mites, any sort of kind of infection. Usually the high heat will kill any bacteria and hopefully viruses. So I'm going to show you what Nate and I have been doing all morning. So we put the stove at, I had it on 400, but I moved it down to 350, and we put the hide in like a bread tin and just kind of let it bake. Now if you're doing several hides, you can put them on a baking sheet. I would not recommend putting it straight onto the rack because it could melt or burn. God knows what could happen. Usually we boil the plants. Whenever you guys are baking hides, it really stinks. Our last two hides smelt pretty bad, the wooden ones. This one's like enamel or acrylic or some sort of weird stuff, and it smells like funeral. It just smells like incense and too many flowers and kind of like rotting corpse. So, what do you think it smells like?
Incense, rotting corpse, diseased anal cavity,
Ruptured anus.
ruptured anus, about it.
Smells nasty.
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 Nate and I have been baking this for approximately an hour. 1 to 2 hours at 350 to 400 is recommended for sanitizing hides. So anytime you have any sort of infection or mites, it's highly recommended that you do this, but you are forewarned that it will really, really stink. So another form of sanitation method that Ken and I use is a mixture of bleach and baking soda with water to clean out the tubs. Now, we don't use this to clean out the tubs that the snakes are in. We use them to clean out the feeding tubs. We don't necessarily like using bleach, but we only use a very small amount. It's just to sanitize any blood that the mice may have left in the tubs. The tubs get about 3 days in between each feeding, so there's no leftover smell or fumes or anything. But I wanted to teach you guys how to make some of your own as opposed to buying the Nature's Habitat. So, I'm gonna try to So the first thing you're going to need is just one of these spray bottles. I think I got this from like a dollar store. It's nothing fancy. Then you're going to want to use a little bit of baking soda because baking soda kills any kind of smell. So if there is any kind of leftover rodent smell or blood smell, hopefully this will help get rid of it. I only use maybe like a teaspoon with this mixture, just to help get rid of some of that smell. So then we have our bleach. I only use maybe half a capful of this, just enough to kind of sanitize any lingering bacteria in there, not enough to hurt the snakes. So there we see I have about a little more than half a cap full, but that's gonna go in there. Now what we want to do is add water. We're going to want to fill it up about halfway so we can shake it up and dissolve some of that baking soda. So let's do that. Looks like it's all dissolved. Now we're going to want to open this baby back up and fill the rest with water. If your spray bottle is smaller than this, obviously you're going to want to use less baking soda and definitely a lot less bleach. If for some reason yours is bigger, you know, just give or take the ingredients, but just use very, very little. It should be 99% water. It does have a rather sort of bleachy smell, which is why we only use it for the feeding tubs, just to make sure there's no salmonella from blood contamination. While I'm here, I guess I could talk about some human sanitation. As I've mentioned in some other videos, snake poop really, really smells. So we've learned how to make our own Febreze. Febreze is really pricey in the store. I do feel like I'm cheating the company, but they make billions of dollars every year anyway. I'm poor. So to make homemade Febreze, you want to get your baking soda again. This time you're going to want to use about 2 tablespoons. You can also find this recipe online. It's been floating around Facebook, so I'm sure you guys can find something. But I figured I'd just take some time, because maybe you didn't know you could make your own Febreze. You watched the video and, oh hey, you know, and you wouldn't have been exposed to it otherwise. And then you're going to want to take liquid fabric softener. You can get any scent you want. We just happen to get April showers because we actually bought this back in spring. But we probably have about that much left because this fabric softener is the only thing we've been using to make our Febreze. We use a lot of it. I go crazy with it on our bed sheets, on our carpets, our curtains. So to still have that much left is like really surprising. I don't remember how much exactly the recipe said to use online, but I noticed it was, I guess maybe it's just the Dollar brand or something, but it was not anywhere near smelly enough to my liking. So I basically just add whatever I want. If it's too strong, you know, obviously I'll add some more water, I guess, but my rule of thumb is you can always add more, but you can't take less. So if it doesn't smell the way I want it to at first, I add more. If it's too strong, well then I messed up and I'm stuck with it. So again, just like with the bleach solution, you're going to want to fill it up halfway, give it a good shake, dissolve all the baking soda. And again, the baking soda is used to get rid of, oh, squirted on me. Baking soda is used to get rid of smells. The fabric softener puts another smell. It makes your fabric soft, obviously. The rest is just water. This is what Febreze is, guys. This is what you're paying $3 to $4 or $5 a bottle or whatever. Where's my water line? I see it. Oops. Maybe I didn't see it. Maybe I'm done. I think I'm done. I hope you guys saw my boo-boo on the camera, because now I'm going to have to clean that up. It's going to be good times. Oops. Alright, so now that I'm cleaned up, you have one bottle of homemade Febreze. Pretty much just as good as the store stuff. Sometimes you will notice you get some dry baking soda. It'll have like a white crest film. Just clean that out once in a while. It's all good.